Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Junior Semi-1 here in the Western region. And we have a unique case here where two teams from the same school will be facing off against each other, dissecting the motion that reads, incentivizing youth entrepreneurship is the key to eradicating poverty in Kenya. I'll read the motion again. Incentivizing youth entrepreneurship is the key to eradicating poverty in Kenya. Proposing the motion, we have Friends School Tigoi, Team A. And opposing the motion, we have Friends School Tigoi, Team B. All the best to both teams on stage, and I'll be a host for today, Hamza Hussein. With that said, first speaker, team proposition, you have 3 minutes.
A marvelous day indeed it is. I, Waka Shamim, from the school that rests on a hill, Friends School Tigoi Girls, in full proposition to this motion that states, incentivizing youth entrepreneurship is the key to eradicating poverty in Kenya. But just before I validate out my contentions, my audience, allow me to give the definition of the key terms of this motion. Incentivize. What is to incentivize? According to Oxford Languages, this is a process of arranging groups or individuals to take specific actions by offering a reward. Youth entrepreneurship. According to googleprimera.com, this is simply the process of starting and managing a business by young people who are between the age of 18 to 35 years. And lastly, eradicate. According to Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, 10th edition, this refers to a complete elimination or removal of a particular thing. What do we stand for as the proposers of this motion? Ladies and gentlemen, as the affirmatives of this notion, we are going to tell you and give you the reasons as to why incentivizing youth entrepreneurship will help eradicate poverty in Kenya. And to my first point, it creates youth employment. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you all are aware of, Kenya is a country with high rate of youth unemployment. And according to World Bank, youth with an estimated 60% in a research that was carried out in 2019 shows that the youth are unable to find a formal education. And by incentivizing youth entrepreneurship, we can provide these young people with a viable alternative to traditional employment, allowing them to become job creators rather than job seekers. To my second point, economic growth. By supporting young entrepreneurs, we can help them start and grow businesses which will generate income jobs, and stimulate economic growth. And in doing this, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to lift the entire communities out of poverty and improve living standards for all Kenyan citizens. And this is why we, as the proposers of this motion, go with incentivizing youth entrepreneurship to eradicate poverty in Kenya. I have been your presenter, Waka Shamim, signing out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just lost this one. Shamim Doreen Waka, as she says, she's putting on specs but cannot see the urgency of this motion. Dear proposers, an advice to you: when you destroy someone's life with a lie, take it as a loan, because it will come back to you with an interest. Now, after listening to the weaker side, ladies and gentlemen, I am here as a judge, but not as God, as a girl of intelligence, to fully oppose the motion that states incentivizing youth entrepreneurship is the key to eradicating poverty in Kenya. But before I give out my contentions, ladies and gentlemen, allow me bring you up to the spasm of the definitions of terms. Now, what is to incentivize? According to Google Scholar, this is simply to encourage individuals or group of people to take specific actions by offering them a reward. What do we mean by youth entrepreneurship? According to the Google Scholar again, this is the starting and managing of business by young people between the age of 18 to 35 years. And lastly, what do we mean by poverty? This is simply lack of sufficient resources such as income, assets, and access to basic necessities that one needs to meet and one needs to get. Now, what exactly do we stand for as the opposers of this motion? As the opposers of this notion, we are totally against the incentivizing of the youth entrepreneurship because we do not think it is the only way to eradicating poverty in our country, Kenya. Firstly, I will look at the difficulty in access to capital. Now, ladies and gentlemen, many young people in our country lack the capital necessary to start a business. And without this access to affordable credit and other financial support, this might be difficult for these young people to turn their business ideas into reality. And examples of these business ideas, ladies and gentlemen, we have the food truck and also the home cleaning services. Now, according to the World Bank, in the year 2022, it states that lack of capital contributes to high rate of poverty in Kenya by 63.5%. Secondly, lack of education and training. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we all know that many people in our country, the young people, are not well educated about the necessity of starting and running a business. Ladies and gentlemen, this might be so hard for them to compete in the marketplaces and also lift themselves out of poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, winter is coming. Winter is coming. XYZ, Kate Muthoni signing out.
Buenos tardes, ladies and gentlemen. That means good afternoon. Friends and enemies, we all know that amateurs built the ark, but professionals built the Titanic. The professionals in this case is the youths who are being taught on entrepreneurship so that they can eradicate poverty in Kenya. But before I validate my points, allow me to do the honors of cross-checking our worthy opponents. Miss Kate Muthoni, you stand here tall, you stand here mature, you stand here bold to come and lie to my audience. Miss Kate just told us that. What about the youths who are lacking capital? How many young people are actually lacking capital in Kenya? You should give us statistics. She should give us citations and data. My audience, you can't follow a dark path. Now, fundamentally, the core of this debate centers around the fact that innovation and creativity is also key to eradicating poverty in Kenya, which is also done by the youth. Young people are often at the forefront of creativity and innovation. They always bring new ideas, new perspectives, and something extra to the table. So by incentivizing youth entrepreneurship, we can encourage these young innovators to turn in their ideas into reality, leading to development of new services, new products, and industrial development that can drive economic growth and job creation. According to the Kenyan Institute of Public Policy, my audience, research and analysis revealed that youths are more likely to come up with new ideas and pilot the country into a poverty-free state. Take an example of the cheaper Institute in Nairobi, where the youths have actually invented an app that connects the household users, the company users, and these waste collectors. Now, that's a win-win, because once we have been able to clean our environment, the youths are also getting their jobs. Thus, we eradicate poverty in our country. To my second point, empowerment and self-reliance. By the people with tools and resources, they need to start their own businesses, and we empower them to become self-reliant and take control of their own economic future. Imagine a community whereby the youths don't actually depend on the government programs, nor do they depend on government jobs, nor do they rely on other forms of assistance. Imagine a society that is dependent. Imagine a society where the youths get their own money, where the youths actually help their communities to develop. I know that all of us would actually enjoy living in such a community, and thus the youths will actually help in eradicating poverty. But before I resume my seat, ladies and gentlemen, I want to leave with one quote. The greatest weapon against poverty is the ability of youth, people, to harness their entrepreneurial spirit. And with that, Stephanie Maria signing out.
Eradicating poverty is like trying to catch a fish with your bare hands. Now before you is Auma Hiljeda from the French school Tigoi, ready to oppose the motion. Incentivizing youth entrepreneurship is the key to eradicating poverty in Kenya. Now, before I give you my reasons as to why I totally disagree with incentivizing of youth entrepreneurship, allow me correct the mistakes done by our dear sisters on the other side. Now, Ms. Shamim, you were giving us a statistic of World Bank in the year 2019 now. That is 5 years down the line. Do you still think that your statistics and your information is valid? No, it is null and void. Now let me give you a current statistic by the World Bank. According to the World Bank, a study they did on the 5th of November 2023 revealed that for you to eradicate poverty in Kenya, you must educate the youth in that particular country. We must educate them so that they may have the skills, so that we can be able to combat poverty in our country, Kenya. Now, you are saying that how can we improve our living standards by giving me money? Instead, you should teach us the skills. Why give me money so that you can eradicate poverty? We need to teach these people, give them the skills. A study also done by the University of Nairobi revealed that for you to eradicate poverty, you must teach the young people so that they may have the skills on what they are supposed to do. Why give me a reward so that I can do something? No. I'll be lazy and do nothing. We'll end up being a poor country. Now, Miss Maria also came as here telling us that they built the Titanic. Well, my audience, as you can remember, the Titanic also sank at the bottom of the sea. So why should we believe them if even the great Titanic sank in the bottom of the sea? So here are some of the reasons as to why we strongly disagree. We reject the incentivizing of youth entrepreneurship to eradicate poverty in Kenya. You know, you cannot be giving me money and I do not have the skills. Now, this will lead me to my first point. Incentivizing youth entrepreneurship will lead to skills mismatch. A research done by the University of Nairobi in the year 2024, 1st of January, revealed that for you to conduct a business, you must first have the skills and the notion as to what you're supposed to be doing. You cannot be giving me a reward. I'll be lazy. I'll not be doing anything. So why should I work if you're giving me money? Why should I work if I'm getting a reward from someone else? Should I really be working if I'm receiving a reward from anyone? No. We should educate the youths. We should empower them. And then also, Ms. Shamim talked about empowering our youths. How can you empower me by giving me money? Why not teach me the skills? You cannot teach me by giving me bread. Teach me how to fish and I'll be good. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have lost another one. We have lost two of them. So why not help us oppose this motion as we give you the statistics and the points that you need. Thank you.
Good people of God, let's bow down for a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for this wonderful day, and help us as the proposers to convince this lovely audience and the opposers to help us support this motion. Amen. Well, they say when the moon is not full, the stars shine more bright. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am here as a proposer of this motion to help you see that indeed incentivizing youth entrepreneurship will eradicate poverty. But before I go on, allow me do the honors of rebutting our worthy opponents. I would like to start with the first speaker, Ms. Kate. Beautiful yet gullible. Now, you claim that incentivizing youth entrepreneurship is not key to eradicate poverty. Then what is? You never told us what is. Then you say that lack of capital is a problem. Well, we are aware of that, and I'll give you solutions, not to worry. To you, Ms. Auma, you spoke of teaching the youth skills and skills on entrepreneurship and all that. Well, that is what we are practically talking about as the proposers. So please be keen. To you, ladies and gentlemen, I know most of you are asking yourselves, why should we help the proposers support this motion? Why should we incentivize youth entrepreneurship? Because how are we sure that it's going to eradicate poverty? Now, I will give you solutions. I will help you see the truth, that it is indeed truth. It will help in eradicating poverty. Well, you see, there are challenges that youth entrepreneurs go through. There are many things that they face, and many are afraid of being entrepreneurs because of this. And some of these challenges, just as like they told us, could be lack of capital, like limited access to finance, market competition, but not to worry. I'll give you solutions like we can explore alternative financing options, such as angel investors, such as crowdfunding platforms. We can also use accounting tools. We can also use of financial management. So, ladies and gentlemen, with all that, do you still want to oppose that incentivizing youth entrepreneurship will eradicate poverty? Do you still want to oppose? It will help. It is the key to eradicating poverty. If not incentivizing youth entrepreneurship, then what else? What else, my audience? What else? And even statistics show, according to ResearchGetNet, entrepreneurship is a critical strategy for eliminating poverty and economic growth. So with all that, you still want to listen to them? What else do they have to say? What else are they going to tell you? Only lies, rumors, propaganda, and innuendo. So please help us. Help us promote this, that incentivizing youth entrepreneurship will indeed eradicate poverty. Thank you.
My audience, we lost this one, we lost this one, and now we have lost all of them. Now, the first speaker, you're talking about empowering these people. Now, how can we empower people when you're giving them money? Yes, you give these people money. When you give them money, what will they do with this money? And yet they do not even have skills to use this money. So how will they use the money if they don't know anything about this money? And do you know what? The third speaker seemed like she wanted to cry. I can offer her a tissue here. I have it. Because the way she was talking is just that I just want her to join us and help us to oppose this motion. Allow me continue cross-checking. Talking about innovation. Back to the skills again. You need critical thinking in order to just innovate. Now, why incentivize youth entrepreneurship? And you ask, if not incentivizing the youth entrepreneurship, then what should we do? I have the answer for your question, We should eradicate. We should just stop corruption. That is the thing that we should eradicate. We should stop corruption. And instead of giving these people money, my audience, we should teach these people financial literacy. And again, the second speaker asked, how many people lack capital? According to the research done by the World Bank on 22nd February 2024, revealed that 80% of the youth lack capital to start, run, and manage their business. So I wonder why these proposals just want to incentivize youth entrepreneurship. Now, incentivizing youth entrepreneurship has made poverty a complex issue. Why do I say this? Poverty is a multifaceted problem influenced by various factors, including economic and social political things. Now, under these political things, you can find that leaders are very corrupt. This is why we want corruption to stop. These leaders are making the JNZs, Generation Z, are trying just to protect us. They're trying to reduce, they're refusing the finance bills. Now, why incentivize youth entrepreneurship? You can't incentivize youth entrepreneurship, and yet they do not have skills to do this. So why talking to us lies? My audience, we are here to speak facts. We are not here just to throw words around. We are here to say the truth and only stand with the truth. I have been your speaker, Britney Spears, also known as Pumpkin. Thank you.
My audience, I shall echo what I said. Amateurs built the ark, while professionals built the Titanic. If you didn't understand, see me later. Now, money speaks a language every continent understands, and if thus, we will be able to eradicate poverty. Holistically assessing the debate, the one inescapable reality we must accept by the end is that entrepreneurship is the silver bullet for poverty eradication. Now, my audience, I shall leave you with one quote. I shall not talk much. Entrepreneurship is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns from it, and he who doesn't earn from it. Now, with that, my audience, if you still want to stand by the naysayers of this motion, that is fine by me, but we shall not rest our case.
Poverty, poverty, poverty. That is the motion of the day, the case of the day. And by the way, I am Auma, ready here to give you the reasons as to why we reject the incentivizing of youth entrepreneurship to combat or eradicate poverty in Kenya. Poverty is a persistent global issue affecting millions of people worldwide. So why should we give people money to eradicate poverty? Money cannot buy everything. Money cannot buy skills. Money cannot buy life. Money cannot buy everything. We need to teach these people on the way to manage and run themselves. They need to be self-reliant. Why give me money? Why reward me to do something? We have many ways of eradicating poverty, ladies and gentlemen. We can end corruption in our country, Kenya. We all know of the former Nairobi governor, Mike Sonko. He was there because he stopped being a governor because of corruption. So we should end corruption so that we can eradicate poverty in our country, Kenya. We should also invest in the stock market to combat poverty. With all that said and done, allow me to rest my case.
Now, I want to begin with the pronunciation of that word. It's not entrepreneurship or entrepreneur. We say entrepreneurship. Now, incentivizing youth entrepreneurship is key to eradicating poverty in Kenya. Tigoi Girls Team A, I like your definition of terms where you've told us that we are talking about giving rewards. Now, Shamim, you come up with very good definition of terms. Then you tell us that when we have this incentivizing, we are going to have youth employment. Please, can you go ahead and give us examples where this has happened and how it happened and how it eradicated poverty? So that connection of terms, apart from just the topic statement. Then you spoke about a World Bank 2019 report that says that youth are unable to find a formal education. Where is the link to the question? The link to the question, I couldn't see that. So in a way, it affected your coherency of argument and interpretation of the motion. Then, Shamim, you're the first speaker. You're talking about incentivizing youth entrepreneurship. It's important for you to explain to the audience how this will work.
When you have a motion that requires you to give the how, let that how come from the definition of your terms, so that when we speak of incentivizing, there are various ways of incentivizing youth entrepreneurship. Like, for instance, the government can reduce the tax base for the youth. Kenya is known for its agricultural sector. So the government may decide that for the youth that venture into maize cultivation, they are going to give them free licenses, or they are going to reduce taxes from profits, or they are going to support by what you are calling a reward, that they're going to give them capital. Those are various ways of incentivizing. It helps you look at the different perspectives of attacking a debate. Now, another advice for team opposition, the key started coming out from the third speaker. That was from Britney Spears. That key should have come in from your first speaker. Because when we speak of incentivizing youth entrepreneurship is the key to eradicating poverty in Kenya, you guys are known, guys, it's not the key. We have other keys. And those other keys are teaching financial literacy, eradicating corruption. That should have come from you, Kate. That is how the rest of the team would have followed up with the arguments and all that. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best.